rape the father, they rape the brother, they rape the sister, they rape the auntie, they rape the auntie, they rob you of all your jewels, they take your car if you have a license firearm, they take your firearm, and they go on with that. And those that are supposed to vote for this bill, for the next year, you all are pleased and it's okay with that. What are they smoking? You cannot come and tell Saieed, well, hear this now. Saieed, mass mandatory, here we go. They come to an end. And then you come and tell me, here we go on side. If you go to the supermarket, the grocery, or the malls, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you go to a pharmacy, you have to wear your mask. Saieed, if you're traveling, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the transportation hub, you have to wear your mask. If you're going to church side, you have to wear your mask. If you're in the school side, you're wearing your mask. If you go to a barber salon, you go to the theater, you're wearing your mask. Which dum-dum in Trinidad and Tobago will go in a theater and buy a popcorn and a juice and sit down and wear a mask? Thanks! If every councillor go through their constituency, do video clips like this and send it for us, I'm gonna be so happy just to play it on our program on a Wednesday night. You know why I would be happy? I will be filled with joy in my heart. You know why? Because the councillor is getting off their butts and they are actually going and doing some live video shoots. Real Talk took the initiative to find out suppliers of wheat in the world that National Flour Mill could go to. So now Romano is saying the company is not going to raise any price in the near future. Why? Why? Is it because the S-Boss and they realize now that, hey, it is in the public domain that we could go right Mexico and buy flour and wheat? We could go right China and buy wheat? I am about change. And thus far, Real Talk is very effective in Trinidad and Tobago, coming towards making changes for the citizens. Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez have urged the population to appreciate and be grateful for the availability of the utilities. This, as Gonzalez recalled, time in his life when he had to fetch water using a bucket from a nearby river. Gonzalez, I want you to understand something. I want you, Mr. Gonzalez, to understand something. You are being paid thousands of dollars by public utility, by the finance ministry, to govern Wasa. Come on. To govern Wasa, I want you to understand that you ain't going in no office for no free code. You are being paid. Do not tell me that I, Saieed, have to be grateful for the water I get it. Let me tell you something, Gonzalez. Every 4 months, I have to pay $400 and I get water once a bloody month. So don't come on a media briefing and say, Saieed, you have to be contented. You have to be happy. Marvin, the next best thing for you to do is to resign and get the hell out of here. gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight, viewers. Remember, share our live stream on YouTube and Facebook. We are also live on Synergy Network Monday to Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. So, viewers, as we start off our program tonight, after a week, Minister of Energy Stuart Young has issued an apology for comments he made last week Thursday during the Standing Finance Committee debate in Parliament. His disparaging comments directed towards members of the opposition and the opposition leader were captured on a hot microphone. Let's hear this.
You go run girls now for all in the back room. You can't use the PTSD buses anymore though, but you go bring the girls for all, you know. Including camera.
You're gonna use the bathroom?
Yeah, Shmin and Zami.
Hey, what?
If they do not have respect in the parliament, you expect them to have respect outside of the parliament? And, you know, we have a strong PNM woman's arm. After Stuart Young, after this went viral, you know what I didn't heard? I did not hear the strong and the vibrant women's arm of the PNM. I did not hear them. You know when they would come out? If a UNC member for parliament made those comments, the woman's arm of the PNM would have been commenting. But for some reason, they didn't even stand up for women in general. Imagine that, eh? They didn't even stand up for women in general. But they are strong, they are vibrant, they support the PNM men. What about when the PNM men make vulgar statements against the woman in general? You see how biasness is be like sometimes? The woman's arm showed no mercy, not even for the women of Trinidad and Tobago, to stand up and say, you know what? We stand for the woman of Trinidad and Tobago, and we will not have our men on the PNM side degrading women in general. They didn't even do that. They didn't even do that. But I am definitely sure, if a UNC male did say that, you wouldn't have done here the bacchanal. But nevertheless, it goes to show how they are. In his statement posted online, Young said, I made comments which were carried by a live microphone that have gone viral and generated much attention. I accept that more is expected of me as a representative member for parliament, and I wish to record my regret that a crosstalk has unnecessarily distracted public disclosure. Please accept my humblest apology. He apologized, all well and good. People just make mistakes. He was big enough to come out and apologize. That's one thing I admire. He was big enough to come out and apologize to the nation. The remarks drew the rage of members of the opposition and prominent members of the public, like social activist Wendell. Young comments and apology came at a time where the internal battle for political leadership of the PNM is heating up, as Prime Minister Rowley is seemingly signaling his departure from the frontline politics. Rowley has not commented on Young remarks or the uproar it caused. Even the PNM women arms have been quiet on Young comments. You see, it goes to show Trinidad and Tobago if a UNC male MP representative did say something like that, the woman arms of the PNM would have been rambling and tumbling all over Facebook, probably on radio stations, on TV. You would have heard them. But what I am disappointed in, the PNM woman's arm, is that they didn't even stand for women as themselves in society. That is what I am disappointed at. As a PNM Women's League. So let me ask this question. Trinidad and Tobago. So a PNM minister makes vulgar statements. And is it okay for PNM MPs to make vulgar statements about women? Is it okay? Yes, Stuart Young apologized, but look at the bigger picture. The woman's arms of the PNM zip their mouth like little girls sitting in a classroom. That is what they did. They did not stand up for a female as themselves to correct. Listen to me carefully. To correct a PNM minister. You know what I'm supposed to say? Yes, we support PNM. We are the woman's arm. But we are not going to tolerate the degrading statements of women by a PNM MP, even though we support you. Somebody should have said worse about them. Let me hear what I say. No, trust me. Let me hear if they would have come out and said something. But it's sad. They zip them out like little girls sitting in a classroom. What does that show? Do they care about the females in Trinidad? Did they voice their concerns? No, they didn't. Call good night.
Good night, Saeed. Excellent topic, and good night to all your listeners. That gentleman, the energy minister, is showcasing his leadership characteristics for the political leadership of the PNM and for the chair leader of the FABs. He was both foul-mouthed and vulgar. And as you rightly said, the FOBs, the woman arm, has facilitated and encouraged him to do that. You know where he can get a job right away without even doing any application? You know there's a boulevard in Arutita Avenue, and there's a lot of activities in the night. He could just walk down there and he could get a job and go and have a nice night.
Well, I don't know about that, but nevertheless. Moving on to the Minister of Public Utilities. Minister of Public Utilities Marvin Gonzalez is expected to spend $40 million to provide truck-borne water to citizens, more than double what was allocated in a previous year. Couva North MP Ravi Ratiram questioned why the allocation for water, well, truck-borne water, ballooned from 18 million in fiscal 2024 to 40 million now. In response, Public Utility Minister Marvin Gonzalez acknowledged that Trinidad and Tobago went through a difficult, dry season in 2024. And it is predicted that we will have harsh days going into 2025. Listen to this.
We went through a very difficult dry season in 2024. As it is right now, the prediction from the Meteorological Services Division of the Ministry of Public Utilities is that we will continue to have harsh dry conditions moving towards end of 2024, going into 2025. As a result of that, we anticipate that there will be a higher demand for water trucking in some of our unserved and underserved communities. And this increased allocation, as you're seeing here, will be to allow the Water and Sewage Authority to continue to hire services for increased water trucking to some of our hard-hit communities.
Now, viewers, in April, Gonzalez lamented that there were illegal water trucking scheme in Trinidad. He said an operation was taking place in the heart of Siparia district that affected about 5,000 residents. At the time, the minister described the illegal sale of untreated water by private water truck operators as scandalous. Meanwhile, earlier this month, Wasa reported the reservoir level has been increasingly steadily in Trinidad and have finally crossed the halfway mark based on the expected long-term average. However, they are still below the expected long-term average. Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something, eh? We have too much of land in this country, owned by Caroni, that is not doing anything. And development in our country for water could take place in a selected area. But the thing is the government of the day willing to allocate funds to make sure that development goes through proper? Or, second choice, leave it as it is. Every year we allocating money and maybe somebody getting something on the side. Because 1.4 million people, right, in Trinidad and Tobago currently have thousands of acres of land put down doing absolutely nothing. But Marvin Gonzalez could find money to do all sorts of things. All sorts of things. But they can't find money to have a proper production of water supply for 1.4 million people. Imagine that, eh? They can't find money for that. But nevertheless, viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear Sinalan defend flood mitigation efforts after that.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community.
Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, we at Real Talk Financing, we are offering you 4% on a fixed deposit, viewers. Remember that we are the only financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago that is offering you 4% with your interest up front. When I say up front, I mean if you open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Financing for 5 years or 10 years, we are going to calculate the interest for the next 5 to 10 years and give you it up front when you open a fixed deposit with Real Talk. So viewers, we are the only one in this country that is doing that. The only financial institution that is doing that. And that is remarkable. Why? Because we are going to start leading. Like I said, I have almost 30 to 35 years experience in the financial sector in Trinidad and Tobago. I have a vast amount of knowledge in financing. Also viewers, I'm a licensed money lender. Those of you who are looking for cash can also contact our office, viewers. Remember also to be members of the credit union. So our numbers are up on screen, viewers. You can call the South Credit Union, 242-9944. Central Credit Union, 231-6219. You can call our loan center if you want cash borrow, 238-6716. Or call Central Office for any kind of information at 339-1670. So viewers, remember those numbers. Get in contact with us. Real Talk Credit Union, Real Talk Financing. We are here to stay. We have started something different in our country. The first institution in this country to have fixed deposit interest being offered up front. Now, when we say up front, you're getting it up front. You're not getting a part payment every 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. No. We're not doing that. We're changing the method. Like I said a few years back, when I applied, or we applied for Real Talk Credit Union license, I did say to you, I am going to change the way banking operates in Trinidad and Tobago. And trust me, we are going to do that. We have already started interest up front, and there's a lot more to come on stream soon, viewers. Remember, Real Talk Credit Union, 3rd branch, it's in the making. It's in the making. But nevertheless, let me hear what the ministers have to say. Amid's plea from opposition MP of Parliament for Works Minister to do more to alleviate flooding, Minister of Works and Transport Rohan Sinanan reminded them that even the Sahara dust or the Sahara Desert is now experiencing flooding. During the Standing Finance Committee, it was revealed that the Ministry of Works and Transport had been allocated $4 million for cleaning major rivers and $1.4 million less than the last fiscal allocation. In explaining some of the work to be done, Sinanan explained that his ministry was now cleaning the mouth of the Caroni River, which is a major project being undertaken. Listen to Rohan.
We have work going on in the Caroni River, as you're aware. We are actually now cleaning the mouth of the Caroni River, which is a major project been undertaken. That have not been done for quite a long time. This is the drainage and irrigation is one, major river cleaning is one program that we have, and we have several projects coming out from the Caroni, out of the Caroni River under different projects. But I could facilitate you with a list of the work that is being undertaken in the Caroni River, but the major project this year is to clean the mouth of the Caroni River.
And would this be completed under this allocation, the clearing of the mouth of the Caroni River?
The cost of that, if once we have to get additional funding, as I said at the start of my presentation, we will make necessary recommendations to the Ministry of Finance on how we fund the projects going forward.
So you're hoping to complete this project within this fiscal year?
It depends on which one of the projects. As I said, on the Caroni River, we have several projects. We have bank repair, we have widening, we have pumps and gates being done at different points on the Caroni River, because we recognize the Caroni River is really the main river that takes the water all the way out on the entire east-west corridor, and even parts of Central that flows into the Caroni. And that the flow in the Caroni is very important to flooding on the whole plain.
So now, viewers, Sinanan added that 4 rivers have been identified for clearing, and a promise that the opposition to provide the details in writing. However, Kuvo North MP Ravi Ratiram sought to remind the minister that the Laquest River, among many others, was threatening several homes in its bank. Ratiram said, flooding has worsened since the PNM came back into office in 2015 and pleaded for flooding to be mitigated. Now, I'm supposed to respond to that, Sinan, and ask Committee Chair Bridget Anna George when she indicated that the choice was his. Now listen to this one.
Representatives from the Drainage Division, Ministry of Works, would have visited the Couva North constituency and completed surveys of the Laquesa River that is threatening a lot of homes along the banks of the Laquesa River. Can you indicate if it is that any funding or any sort of allocation for 2025 and going forward will be able to address the concerns along the Laquesa River?
Well, yeah.
So whether La Cuesta River is under 003?
Yeah, I wouldn't have the list of the work, and based on the availability of funding, it is programmed by the engineer.
So I just want to put in a plea on behalf of my constituents in that Bank Village, Orangefield Road, etc., where their homes are being threatened by the erosion, if some work can be done there. So we are pleading once more, because the flooding that we experience in the constituency, Honourable Minister, is a recurring decimal since this administration has come into office, and we're really hoping that some additional effort can be put into clearing these water courses, and not piecemeal cleaning of the rivers itself, but a complete cleaning of these rivers all the way out to the sea.
Am I supposed to respond to that, or just?
You will determine that.
Well.
Now, viewers, there is no guarantee we will get away from what is happening, given that the Sahara Desert is now underwater. So, do you think the low-lying areas in Trinidad will be spared of that? Sinanan argued. Listen to this argument.
I want to compliment the Drainage Department and the Ministry of Works, who have been doing human service over the last couple of years. We have done more drainage work based on the records of the ministry in the history of this country. Yes, there have been challenges with flooding, but we have to take that into context of what is happening internationally. And we have to say in Trinidad and Tobago, so far we have been doing well. There's no guarantee that we will get away from what is happening. If you look at the newspaper today and last week, the Sahara Desert is underwater. So you're seeing flooding in the deserts in the world. I don't think the low-lying areas in Trinidad will be spared from that. But I want to compliment the staff of the Ministry of Works Drainage Division. I think they have been doing a fantastic job based on the funding that is available to them. And we will try our best to attend all the areas in Trinidad.
Now, viewers, Gonzalez, we're going back to Gonzalez. Minister of Public Utility Marvin Gonzalez have stated that a $66 million cut in Wasa allocation for contract employment in the budget did not mean there were firing at the authorities. The estimates of revenue and expenditure for statutory bodies show Wasa facing a $66 million decrease from last year to 2025 estimated. The documents also showed a plans for a 2025 salary cut. You understand what I'm saying? They're planning for a 2025 cutting of salary by $37 million in wages and a COLA by $16 million, monthly paid overtime by $18 million, and daily paid overtime by $10 million. So hear me now thinking.
We are currently restructuring.
Hear me now thinking. How did Rowley get an increase of $50 million for entertainment? This money have to be coming from somewhere. And then I started to realize, but here it is. They cut in here, they pull back this million. They cut in here, they pull back at $5 million. They cut here, they pull back at $3 million. And when you do check at it, it's because Rowley get $50 million for entertainment. Look, think about it for yourself. Couva South MP Rudy Nat embarrassing ask about the $66 million cut. And I'll listen to this.
We are currently restructuring and streamlining the executive leadership of the Water and Sewerage Authority, and that we anticipate at the end of this exercise, the Water and Sewerage Authority will not carry that huge bill of $66 or $399 million annually for contract employment.
And thank you.
And that does not mean retrenchment in any way.
That does not mean retrenchment. So we are going to wait, viewers, in the coming months, and we're going to see what is taking place. Because he's talking about $66 million cut, eh? $66 million cut. For overtime, watch me now. Monthly paid overtime, it cut by $18 million. Your COLA cut by $16 million. And daily paid overtime, all cut by $10 million. But keep in mind, Dr. Rowley got $50 million. So as part of this $66 million cut, did it go to entertainment for our Prime Minister? Ask yourself that. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual. And I hope the citizen of this country is looking at your program or had listened to that incident in Parliament where they kicks in. And it is clear as crystal for the citizen of this world to see our Parliament in this country where it has degenerated into. It is a luxury hotel for these politicians we have here to go there. They kick off on each other, eat, drink, be merry, and plan how to lick up the citizens of this country, how to advantage and pass laws like extortion, property tax to lick up the citizens of this country. Anyway, I hope the citizens taking note of this. Anyway, last Friday, you had a press briefing from the hierarchies in the police service. And Martin, the DCP, said today is a very sad day for the police service. They will hang their heads in shame and with disgrace and apologize to the nation for that. Well, they should continue. In the years, we're telling them that to hang your head on your program, we're telling them, hang your head in shame and with disgrace for what the police is doing. What they are doing is advantaging the citizens of this country. Go there and only issue tax collection tickets to the citizens of this country. They know it would come back to haunt them. Karma come back to haunt them. And all of them on that committee, they got promoted to DCP and ACP and this high promotion to issue the citizens of this country tax collection tickets, and they must issue 300 tickets per week. That is why they all get promoted. So they continued it, and today karma come back to haunt them for them to see where the police service is. And I want them to know is more than 60% of the police service involved in crime and criminal activities. And just last week, Friday night, in the St. Julian Village area around 10:30, I tell them there was a marked police vehicle parked at a notorious bar with Spanish-speaking people where they block half the road. And again, half the lane was blocked on a corner and a police vehicle parked there and participating. Now, if they use the unmarked vehicles to patrol the highways and the roads, they will deal with lawlessness and coordinate this with marked vehicles and unmarked vehicles. That's how you're going to solve crime, not stopping and having roadblocks. They ain't doing that. They're using the unmarked vehicles to walk PH, to go and pick up their children, go and buy food, go and shop in supermarkets. That's what they are using it for and not the purpose it was put there for. So I hope the opposition leader today will not say she's going to give police officers incentives to fight crime. It will be to commit more crime against the citizens of this country. Mr. Said, God bless you, man. Keep up the great work you are doing. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Now, viewers, as said, Wasa leadership was being restructured and streamlined to reduce its financial burden. Nothing that $66 million cut. Embarrassing ask, how many fewer personnel would Wasa have? Gonzalez said the figure arose from an intention to shift more executive management into staff permanent position. As for the number of personnel to be affected, the minister said he did not have those figures at hand. Listen to this.
So, Minister, if you was paying in the context of contract employment for personnel with $466,530,000 in 2024. Now in 2025, you are reducing that by $66,582,000. How much less personnel are you paying with this sum?
Madam Chair, that persons will be employed on a more permanent basis, and there will be absolutely no need to have those persons employed under contractual engagement as have been done over the years.
So how many contract employees will no longer be there then, if you are saying that you are moving to permanent employment?
I don't have that information at hand, but I can tell you with the streamlined, new, lean executive leadership for the authority, there will be no need to carry a bill of $466 million in contract employment.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from Padarat and Tia and Tech. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union, Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan? Only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and the team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real public concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Remember, we at Real Talk, we are giving you 4% on our fixed deposit with your interest up front, viewers. We are leading in fixed deposit thus far in Trinidad and Tobago. Also, be members of the Real Talk Credit Union, viewers. We have our Credit Union Week. This is Credit Union Week. On Thursday will be Credit Union Day. Real Talk Credit Union has an offer for you. Those of you who are opening accounts with us on Thursday will get a $50 credit to their shares account. So if 100 people come in and open an account on Thursday, they are going to get $50 credited to their share account on that day. It's Credit Union Week, viewers. It's Credit Union Day, and we are making it very, very special for you at Real Talk Credit Union. 2 locations. 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas and 25 Cipero Street in San Fernando. So call our office, viewers, 242-9944 or 231-6219 to set up an account. So as we start back our program, at a time when consideration is being given to increasing electricity rate to help pull Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission out of debit, it seems as if the state has no intention of settling its outstanding arrears to the utility company this financial year. Princestown MP Barry Padarat sought to bring attention to a line item under expense for electricity. Padarat said in 2023, it was identified that the Ministry of Public Utility owes TNTEC $19.9 million in arrears. In light of the allocation that was provided here of $700,000, he asked the minister to state how much of those arrears of $19 million have been cleared. Gonzalez responded by saying that the $700,000 is expected to incur in 2025. This has nothing to do with paying arrears owed to TNTEC. Ooh, brace on yourself. Now listen to this.
Line item 04, electricity. Honorable Minister, in an answer to a question in 2023, it was identified that the Ministry of Public Utilities owes TNTEC $19.9 million in arrears. In light of the allocation that has been provided here of $700,000, which represents an increase from the previous year of only $50,000, Minister, can you give us an idea of how much of that arrears of $19.9 million have been cleared, and what is the ministry's plan going forward, seeing that it owes such a huge figure to TNTEC?
So the question you want to ask is how much of this $700,000 is going towards arrears?
Yes.
I'll allow that.
Madam Chair, thank you very much, member. This $700,000 under this sub-item, it's for bills to be accrued expected to be incurred in 2025. So it has nothing to do with arrears owed to TNTech. That's on a different item.
So Trinidad and Tobago, the $19.9 million that is owed to TNTech by public utility, no payment have been made. So come 2025, you may see an increased rate in your electricity bill. Now, the government owes TNTech this money, eh? Understand what I'm saying? Remember when Marvin Gonzalez said $4 billion the citizen needs to contribute to? Well, brace yourself. Brace yourself for an increase in electricity rate coming very soon. Because if TNTech decides to shut down government utilities, what's going to happen to our country? What is going to happen to our country? Our little 2x2 country with 1.4 million people. What do you think is going to happen? $50 million have been allocated to the Prime Minister's office for entertainment. Wine and jam, party, hotels, anyway. Entertainment, food, drinks, music, dance. But Cronenberg could not allocate $20 million to pay off TNTech. And that is what all you call a leader. Really? So it is easier to allocate wine and dine party to the office of the Prime Minister than to pay TNTech what they owe in. How many of you say great is the PNM still? How many of you are still saying great is the leadership? How many of you don't see it? People are still saying that, but want to call Saieed and bash Saieed. So who is responsible now for the TNTech increased rate when it passed down to all you? Saieed? Am I the one responsible for that? Or is it your great leaders? A man we call Clangenbert. They fined $20 million to put in the office of the Prime Minister to drink expensive wine and have entertainment, but Clangenbert cannot find $20 million to pay TNTech with their own. That is leadership. The people who just call on the program to bash Saieed, that is all your type of leadership. That is all your type of leadership. And it goes to show that Clangenberg don't care if you get an increase in your electricity bill. That move alone shows that he don't care about you. They don't. I'm going to tell you something. This is not bashing, you know. This is facts in front of your eye. Facts in front of your eye that you cannot even understand that. But you want to say Saieed bashing? It's sad, yes? It's sad. Now, Padraat asked, out of the 84.8 million, however, how much of arrears of 800 million will be paid to Wasa to offset a debit to TNTech? Now listen to this.
Thank you, Madam. Madam, line item 04 in the General Administration. Again, the issue of electricity. And I refer the Honourable Minister to the answer that was provided to this House in 2023, where today we have an allocation of $84,800,000 for electricity under Wasa. However, the answer to the question in terms of how much Wasa owes to TNTech is $800 million. Could the Minister say out of this $84.8 million, how much of the arrears of $800 million will be paid to Wasa to offset the debt that Wasa owes to TNTech, the sum of $800 million.
So in this allocation of $84.8 million, as soon as we receive the allocation on the releases, every cent will be paid to the Trinidad and Tobago Electricity Commission. In addition to that, Wasa also pays TNTech from internal resources. That is monies that it would have collected from its own rates, from its customers.
But this,
so even
sorry,
though so the $84.8 million would have been allocation, will be allocation to be received from the Ministry of Finance, and in addition to that, it will also utilize its internal resources to settle outstanding payments to TNTech.
Same line item. Minister, are you aware that the $800 million in arrears is not from the public, but it is actually from ministries, state enterprises, etc.? The state.
But you're asking with respect to Wasa's outstanding arrears to TNTech?
Yes. I'm asking if you are aware that the $800 million is not from the public, it is from state enterprises and the ministry, the state itself.
I don't understand.
I really wouldn't allow that question under electricity.
Bridget, I expect you to cut him, you know. I expected that. 800 million Trinidad and Tobago. The ministries, the government ministries, what we are hearing, what you just heard, owes TNTech 800 million. So monies that have been allocated to electricity bill for various ministries, where did that money go? Where did that money go? I'm asking a question. Where did that money go? Keep in mind, $3 billion is still unaccounted for it. I will ring this until Central Bank gets tired of hearing it. Yes? I will ring this on television until Colin start to feel a fire coming out here. I will shame him down on national television. Keep in mind, Trinidad and Tobago, we are being eyed for funding terrorism. We are on a blacklist. Keep that in mind. So when you decide to call in to tell Saieed you're bashing PNM, we are on a blacklist for funding terrorism. It's sad, you know. It's really sad in this country, the state of our affairs. But nevertheless, we are going for a short commercial break, but when we come back from that break, we're going to hear Khadija Amin. Where did the money go for road rehabilitation? After this.
Become a member of Real Talk Credit Union, now located at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas. Open a fixed deposit with Real Talk Investments and get 4% on interest with interest payment being paid up front. Get in contact with us at 238-6716, 231-6219 or 339-1670. Real Talk Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Plant a seed today for a better tomorrow.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Coroni Savannah Road, Chagonas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
When life throws you a curveball and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I just want to carry you back about a year, 2 years back. Let me see how much you all remember. Remember when the new Secondary Road Rehabilitation and Improvement Company was formed? Do you all remember that? Under, I believe it was Faraz Al-Rawi. They moved Faraz Al-Rawi from the Ministry of the Attorney General and moved him into local government. And they put the Secondary Road Rehabilitation Company under that ministry. You all remember that? You all remember when that company formed? Clogging Burt allocated $100 million to that company before it was formed. Do you remember that? Now hear this. St. Augustine MP Khatija Amin is calling on the government to investigate the $200 million which was allocated to the Secondary Road Rehabilitation and Improvement Company. She said $100 million was initially allocated to the local government ministry before the company was formed. Khatija said the next year the company got an additional $100 million. And the company was subsequently shifted to the Ministry of Works and Transport. So now you have $200 million to be given to deal with secondary road, and you can't deliver. Listen to this.
Madam Speaker, another failure has been, and in this pattern of mismanagement, has been the Secondary Roads Rehabilitation and Improvement Company. $100 million was first allocated to the Ministry of Local Government for a company that was not yet formed. The next year in the budget, that company got an additional $100 million, and the company subsequently was shifted to the Ministry of Works and Transport. So again, the motion from a partner, well, the motion for the member for San Fernando West, but you have $200 million being given to deal with secondary roads. You have thousands of secondary roads all over this country in terrible condition, and you can't deliver?
You all remember that? So now listen to this video now.
So it was removed from the Ministry of Local Government and given to the Ministry of Works. I know what we have over there now? We have audits, and we have claims of price fixing, corruption after corruption, and roads not being paved. So, Madam Speaker, this is another area of poor delivery and wastage of government money. That $200 million that went to that secondary roads company could have gone to the regional corporations for them to fix their business and fix their roads. You talk about empowering regional corporations, you are giving them less money. Regional corporations never get $200 million for secondary roads. Why didn't you assign that money to the regional corporations for them to perform and deliver? That is what should have been done.
So Trinidad and Tobago, is that $200 million part of the $3 billion that went missing? I don't know. I'm asking on national television. Can Clongenberg come out and clarify that? But then again, we are yet waiting to see if Central Bank, the rulers of Central Bank in Trinidad and Tobago, are they going to give Jaiwanti Ramdas authorization to check the check clearance system in our country? Clongenberg is still being held accountable for the $3 billion that is gone missing. European Union has us under a microscope. You know for what? Funding terrorism. But yet we cannot give an account for $3 billion. Apart from that $3 billion, is $200 million part of the $3 billion that gone missing? I am asking Clongenberg, that is the only man I could ask, the Minister of Finance. We cannot ask Rohan Sinanan. I cannot ask the Attorney General. I cannot ask the Prime Minister. Well, don't talk about the Alsing. We can't ask him because the ministry needs money too. His ministry. So come Trinidad and Tobago. Are you going to continue paying taxes for the government and your money continuously going missing? How is the road in your community? When last did you get a pothole patch? When last did you get a street light fix in your community? When last did you get a proper mail-in service in your community? Let me tell you what to look out for in the coming months. Look out for pension. Look out for a cut in social grants. When I say look out for a pension, pension is something you're entitled to at the age of 60 or 65. They're going to reconfigure that whole settings and make it into a grant where you, from entitled to not titled. So brace yourself, Trinidad and Tobago. I've given already heads up before it happened. Social grant, it's going to cut. It's going to cut. Those of you who depended on it, let me tell you something. You better start praying to God, yes? Serious. You better start praying to God. So viewers, we are out of time for tonight. But nevertheless, this is Saieed. And I do want to encourage you. You have your money put on a financial institution and you're not getting interest? Contact Real Talk. Contact Real Talk, set up an appointment, come down, find out about our interests up front, and enjoy it. Because let me tell you something, the rating is going, you might get a heart attack and die. The rating going, electricity going up, Wasa going up, food going up, transportation going up. Enjoy your money. So viewers, until we meet again, good night.